That's the hard part, is defining it. But after you define that market to a point, it becomes progressively easier, because then you realize how to reach out to those people. If you are, if your target market is people between 60 and 80 years old, you're not going to send out Facebook messages, because most 80-year-olds don't have Facebook. Whereas if it's 14 to 20, whatever, a younger age, then they would have Facebook. So that would be a wiser decision. So it's all about when it comes to marketing and advertising. That's the biggest thing that you can do, is find your target market.
Well, also, I think your target market should be someone generally like yourself should be your target market, because you understand what you like, so that means you kind of understand what the target market likes. So you don't need to be like a 40-year-old cool dad and start selling longboards. You can't. It's hard to hard to relate, hard to communicate with your target market.
Yeah, I think that's why I really want to focus you guys on doing something you're passionate about, because then you are part of that target market, right? You know what you want to do, and I think that the example of your business is a good one. You guys are really into longboarding and have taken that on, and you're part of that target market who would be interested and is passionate about this. So it makes it easier for you to relate to your customers, because you are the customer.
Right.
If you're starting a finance software company, I don't know how interested you guys are. So it would be harder for you guys to relate to what the target customers want. So yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, in the article it says, do you understand what drives your target audience, a target market? And so it helps if you're part of it, you already know what drives it.
For our business, our target market would be teenagers, I guess. But the problem is with most videos, most professionals are in their 30s, because they've been doing it for a while, and that's why they're professionals now. So we have to find a way to get that out there to them too.
I found another challenge that was on the second page, where it's under what questions you want to ask yourself. It's do I understand what drives my target to make decisions? And I think that's going to be a big challenge, understanding, even though your target market, they do have lots of things in common, they're all going to think differently. So it's going to be hard to understand, how each person makes decisions and you find a common ground.
Another important thing is under that same section says, can they afford your product or service? You never know when you first start out how much you're going to sell it for. You have to go through the stages, and as you're developing it, obviously you'll figure out what you're going to sell it for.
I think one way that you could try to determine that is, on the stapled article, as we like to call it, how to define your target market. On the second page or the back of the first page, it says, analyze your product or service, and I think you could use that to determine the cost as well.
The way we're going to do it, is we're going to hopefully make the board for around $50, and then professional boards cost around $300. So we're going to hopefully sell it for $100 or a little bit more. And then the problem is just most teenagers don't have that much, so $100 should be hopefully good.
Yeah, that's another problem that I guess we have, because a lot of the professional longboards, like Steven said, are really, really expensive, and a lot of kids would not have $300 or $400 just laying around to do that. And if they wanted to start up a hobby like longboarding, they're interested in that, they could come to our business and buy a cheap board to start off with. I mean, they're going to be good quality and stuff too, but they're not going to be professional.
What's cool about what you just said is that you started by saying anybody can longboard, and it's true, anybody can. Like Josh was saying, anybody can buy your product, right? But you just already, whether you know it or not, just told us who your target market is, which is teenagers who might not be able to afford a $300 professional longboard yet, who are just getting started in the sport and don't want something that's cool and fun. And I know you showed me those videos of the way you can paint them and make them look awesome, but they don't. This is a longboard for maybe the beginning longboarder. Yeah. So that they don't have to invest all their money into it. So you just revealed to the class your target market, even if you didn't know. And maybe it's gonna expand, maybe that'll expand and include more people, include that cool 40-year-old dad later on who has a lot of money, and you can build like a specialty board for that. Like right now, it's that group. That's cool. What about what you guys were talking about also brings us to our second question, which is what are the next steps that you have to take in order to identify that target market? And so I'd really like to hear from people who haven't spoken yet, who've maybe written down answers to step up and participate.
So what I'm going to do is, on the back of the Staples page, it said that it should create surveys and like send it out to people and ask for feedback. And we can like tailor the company to their people's needs, and we can get more target market through that.
Yeah, I think a step you can take is just going out and talking to people, because it's not like anybody can do it. You just have to go out and talk to people and see what they want, or you can do surveys like you said.
You can also do advertisements, right?
Yeah.
I think surveys might be more effective in gathering information about your target market, though. I'm, for example, making some surveys for the website I'm trying to create for the entrepreneurship project for teachers and students. And I think that will help me get a sense of what they would be interested in getting into.
Well, I think that, going back on the survey thing that Liv's talking about, I think that really helps you like consider the psychographics of your target, because like through surveys you can, like depending on what the survey says, you can like figure out what the target's market, like their values and their interests and hobbies and stuff. So it's a good decision.
Other folks who participated, are there anything that you're concerned about for finding your target market? Anything that maybe you disagree with from the article? Anything that you wrote down that maybe hasn't been said, or things that have been said that confirm what you wrote down, if you haven't spoken up yet?
Well, the zero in on your market activity said to think about who wouldn't use your services, and I think that for me that would be helpful to figure out who would use it, because so far I'm having trouble thinking about specifically who would be using our services, so narrowing it down would be really helpful for us.
Cool.
I agree with John about the survey thing. I think it would really help with narrowing down what the target market would be for a business.
Well, back to what Emma said, like, I don't know what my target market would even be. And on the first sheet, the guy said that, like, the first question he asked people that are starting a new business is who or what is your perfect customer? And he told them just, like, sit down, think about what they are providing, and then, like, look around and be like, okay, this person is what I would want to, like, you know, help and be my client or customer.
So, like Raven just said, she didn't know who her target market was. And I kind of know, because I have a cupcake shop, or that's what I'm going to do. And everybody likes cupcakes. So, I mean, it's because it says like, age and like gender. And I mean, boys and girls like cupcakes, and like babies like cupcakes, and old people like I guess so, like, the only people I couldn't help were like diabetic people. And then I was thinking, okay, maybe I could make like diabetic cupcakes.
Non-diabetic
Cupcakes
are diabetic.
Well, like, no, I don't know what they eat, but like no sugar.
So what would people say? What would people say the article argues? Because I think that's a common issue for people. It's like, well, my business targets everybody. Like, everybody's going to enjoy my business. But what would these marketing experts say in response to that? Anybody can answer that.
All right, so I feel like it's saying that everyone, they start their business like, all right, my business is good, it's for everyone, everyone's going to love me. And like, it's all right to have everyone come to your business, but you really need to decide, who are you making this for, you know? Who are you going to get the most of, you know? Not just, I'm going to get everybody, because everybody's going to love me.
like, everybody might be attracted to your business, but who are you gonna advertise to? I think is what I'm-
Like, with mine and Mass Company, we're doing a thing for like taking foods that were specifically used in books and movies, and we're gonna actually make them and sell them. Obviously, anyone can come get to it, but our people that we'd be projecting to would be obviously be fans of the books and movies that we're taking the foods from.
I feel like people who struggle to find like who their customer is, like who their target market is, it can be helpful if they find who their target market is not, and then just eliminate it.
Right, like maybe cupcakes, maybe like health food junkies. Cupcakes aren't, that's not your target market. So by process of elimination, you can get a little closer. I think it comes down to, for what you were saying about the cupcakes, is that quote that Josh read first. Is targeting a specific market does not mean that you have to exclude people that do not fit your criteria from buying from you. Rather, targeted marketing allows you to focus your marketing dollars and brand message on a specific market that is more likely to buy from you than other markets. This is much more affordable, efficient, and effective way to reach potential clients. So in a couple periods back, student, Jesse has like, I guess he DJs, and he's DJed at other events before. At least that's what he's telling me. So if he, and he's saying everybody, everybody needs DJs, everybody, every kind of party, every kind of person. But he actually, when we talked about it, he went back and he could identify the kinds of parties that he had done, and there was a much higher percentage of certain kinds of events that he had been a DJ for. And so just by looking at that, where he had thought, yeah, I could do it for everybody, there was still a higher percentage of people that he was going to be able to reach. And so I said, if you were just going to take out and pass out business cards, you'd want to pass it out to those people who are more likely, not that no other people wouldn't come, but those people who are more likely to actually call you back for that business card than just tossing a bunch of business cards off the roof and then seeing who gets them, right? So I think everybody wants, you guys want, especially as a startup, you guys want to target potential customers that are a high percentage, highly likely to benefit from your business, right? Because you have limited resources right now. So you want to reach out, you don't want to spend time reaching out to people who are low percentage, not very likely to benefit from your business. You want to go to those people who are really high percentage, highly likely to benefit from your business. And sometimes it means you got to find them. Someone talks about prototyping over here. That's another reason why we prototype. You prototype, show things to customers, and find out what people like from your business. You sell your first board, and maybe your idea right now for your skateboarding company is that new teenagers are going to really like your board, and maybe the first board you sell is to somebody who's totally not in that demographic. Maybe it's somebody else, right? And then you're like, oh, well, maybe we should change who we're marketing to. So making prototypes and constantly testing is going to help you find that as well. And that's why we're having you guys make minimum viable products next week.
I'm not sure how we're going to do that, because our first board we're selling probably on Craigslist. So I have no idea how we're marketing anybody, we're just putting it out there.
Well, that's another thing. I mean,
Craigslist is half marketing.
Craigslist has categories.
Craigslist is marketing, right?
well, you're putting it out there, and you're just so in a way you're going to let your target market find you, right? Because you're putting the board out there, and then you're going to let all the people who are looking for boards, they're actively looking for longboards, are going to type that in, and so you're going to find out, people who call you and ask. Maybe you get 10 people who call you and ask. 7 or 8 of them are teenagers who have never longboarded before. And you're like, wow, that's our target market.
Right.
So you're gonna, that's the power of the internet, is you can expose your product to a lot of people and get a lot of information back. So it'll help you identify just by putting that ad out there for free. That's a good way to do it for free, right?
Right.
You could see who your potential market is. Guys, we only have like a minute left. Really great job today. I'm really proud of how much you participated. If you did not talk and you want to come and tell me what you would have said in the Socratic seminar, please do. I do not need these articles back because you're the last period of the day, so you get the reward of getting to keep articles. What?